clowns. But thank God that lady is not our president, because there is no more myopic, self-centered, self-righteous, unaccountable, and unrelatable political creature than Hillary Clinton. As Maya Angelou said, when someone reveals who they are, you believe them the first time. Plenty of us did. Many more should now. Joining me now is CNN political commentator, a longtime top aide to Hillary Clinton, Patty Solis-Doyle. Patty, I'm sorry, you are in a tough spot. I don't know Hillary like you do, but I always appreciate your honest analysis and insight. So based on the reaction of most people, I don't think I'm hearing this wrong, but you tell me, is this getting lost in translation? Because it sounds really bad.
Well, first, Essie, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate your honesty in how you feel about Hillary Clinton. Look, this was bad. You know, I can't sugarcoat it. She was wrong, and clearly it's not helpful to Democrats going into the midterms, and certainly not going into 2020. She's put herself in a position where Democrats are going to have to distance themselves from these remarks and distance themselves from her, particularly those Democrats that are running in the states that Donald Trump won, like Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan. So I think the remarks were unfortunate. It seems to me she's still, you know, struggling with coming to terms on how she lost and why she lost, which, you know, is human and normal, particularly this kind of level of loss. But I do wish she would stop doing it so publicly.
And I don't want to beat you over the head with this. I truly do want to kind of understand the deplorables, the basket of deplorables moment was a turning point in the campaign and should have been a real lesson. Criticize Trump, but going after Trump voters is just it's a no-win proposition, and she was right back in there. What do you think she was thinking? Was it that she was at a foreign audience and so she kind of was playing to a different crowd, or did she think this wouldn't get picked up again, or does she really truly not get the connection that people are going to make here to the rest of, you know, real America?
Look, obviously she was wrong to, with a broad brush, paint all of the people who live in the states that she lost as racist or sexist. Obviously that's wrong. But if you unpack it a little bit more and go down a couple of layers down, you know, true that cultural issues and issues about race and issues about sexism played a major role in 2016. And it continues to play a major role in our politics today and will probably in 2020. And much of the reason is because President Trump injects these issues into our, you know, atmosphere, whether it's because he's attacking football players who kneel during the national anthem, or whether it's, you know, the Stormy Daniels story, or saying that they're very fine people on both sides after Charlottesville. So, you know, there's a kernel of truth in what she says. I mean, it was inartfully done. That's putting it kindly.
Look, you heard me. I don't defend Donald Trump. He was divisive. But how is calling people who didn't vote for her backwards and calling people who did optimistic and dynamic, how is that any better than Trump's divisive language? I would, if she had been elected and said something like that, I think a lot of people would have been very hurt by that and felt like she was not the president of everyone.
Correct. You're right. They're very divisive comments. You know, I would like to think that if she were elected president, she would not be speaking that way. But again, these issues are very prominent in our politics today. I mean, let's face it, the strength of the resistance right now is really fueled by, energized by, fighting Trump on these very issues, fighting him on racism and sexism.
I get it, but
division.
She's not fighting him. She's fighting his voters.
Look, like, I agree. It's wrong. She shouldn't have said it. It's not helpful to Democrats.
Okay,
I'm with you on that one.
I don't want to make you keep beating this horse, but let me advance this. I hear time and time again from Clinton people that she is so great one-on-one, not so great in front of crowds and in interviews, sort of the opposite of Obama, actually. Stop these public appearances and just focus on important behind-the-scenes one-on-one meetings where she could maybe help the party that way, using her star power behind closed doors, not in front of huge crowds where she clearly has a problem connecting?
I think she is still coming to terms with the loss. And if I were in her shoes, so would I. I don't think the answer is to hush her up or, take her away from the public view. I think she has a lot to offer. I think she has a lot to say. I would rather that she talk about the issues of import today, whether that's North Korea, whether that's issues like immigration and DACA and healthcare and the economy. I think she would be better served that way. I think she should also be behind the scenes too. I mean, this is a woman who has longevity in the party, who still has a lot to add and can be helpful moving forward by raising money, by campaigning for people, particularly in those districts, those Republican districts that she won in 2016. I just think she needs to stop talking about what happened and start talking about what can be.
Well, Republicans certainly hope she has longevity in the party, too.